Hello, welcome Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising to November 2022, where you're going to find some serious opportunities for up-leveling things to do with travel, trips to foreign lands, maybe even some money, upgrades, and luck. And you may also find yourself making some significant changes and reorientations regarding your home. Let's get into that. Before we do, my name is Lori Lothian. I am a Hellenistic and whole sign house astrologer using the Western Tropical Zodiac. I'm traditional. All astrologers are using whole sign houses derived style wise when we talk about your videos on YouTube. So listen as if you're using whole sign houses. Don't look at your Placidus chart. Go check out my description box, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses and find your rising sign, because your rising sign will be the most accurate. And then your sun secondarily and your moon next. I'm visiting my sister in Northern Ontario, Canada. I'm recording on October 24th. By the way, my Patreon community gets all my videos ahead of time without ads. And if you wanted to get them, just go check it out. Description box, well, $5 and you're in. Okay, $5 and you're in, then you get all my videos ahead of time and no ads. Okay. So I'm an Aries sun and moon. So I'm really into this one because it's meaningful to me. And yes, you can listen for your sun sign and moon sign too, but your rising will be the most accurate. Did I tell you this is my sister's place? She's a healer, healingwithnancylynn.com. I thought I needed to get antibiotics. She did a healing on me. I'm totally fine. She healed a sciatic nerve problem as well. She does distance healing. She's just as good at the distance. Check it out. She's got a great special on with the code gratitude20 about the Thanksgiving, season. And you might want to catch the wave of a session with her. Okay, because I'm promoting her because I'm in her house visiting in Northern Ontario. This is the house I grew up in. This is my mother's bedroom. All right. So I want to talk about this a little bit. Okay. I haven't been sharing the image with you this time around. I forgot. So I'm going to keep all my videos consistent, but let's talk about the big sky stories here. One is that you're losing some traction with Jupiter. He's moved into the house, one of the foreign lands and travels houses as of October the 28th. When Jupiter was in the house of you, he made it to the 8th degree only between May 10th and when he retrograded into Pisces. And the energy here is such that you may have found you were more lucky. And that was great to have that feeling of sustained Jupiter luck, expansion, magnanimousness, and all of that. And you kind of now, Jupiter's going into Pisces and he's been retrograding. And, it may not feel as awesome, right? He's been retrograding since July 28th. You may feel like, oh no, I've lost my Jupiter charm, but that's okay. Because when Jupiter goes into the 12th, he's kind of like guru, a sanctuary leader, teacher. And what I think may happen for a lot of Aries between October 30th and the 11th, and the December 20th is a return to a trip from a foreign land, the return of a spiritual guide or teacher, the desire to study something that you need to learn more of that you've studied before, because retrograde. And Jupiter will go direct on November 23rd. So there's also then a feeling of he's coming back my way, but he got some goodies by getting travel arrangements to foreign shores arranged, or going back into learning or meeting up with an old teacher, stuff like that. Now, back in April, right? April 20, at the end of April, but the last half of April, the first week of May, that's a territory he was traveling in, where he was around the 27, 28, 29 degrees in the spring. And that's where he's going back in Pisces. You want to go back what was going on in April and the beginning of May, because this is where Jupiter's back again. He's back and he's really close to Neptune like he was then. For some of you, this is like guru territory. This is spiritual guidance. This is major up levels. I really turned on to this one spiritual teacher back in April, May, and I was binging on all this stuff on YouTube. And I even got in touch and asked if he wanted to do a retreat in Vancouver. So maybe I'll be back in touch with him. And I love his content. His book is, oh my God, the word wake in it. It's around my house here. Oh my gosh, so I can't remember. I'm not meant to tell you, but nonetheless, contemporary teacher, anesthesiologist of all things. Okay, second of all, this idea of foreign lands and travel is very big for you guys this month. And it's so specific, I know, but it can also be legal and court cases working on your behalf, for example, or taking academic studies or teaching or professoring to others going very, very well. But why I'm talking about this is because there's going to be a huge love up in your ninth house, just as Jupiter stations direct on the 23rd of November. This is going to be a new moon in the ninth house of foreign travel and lands, book publishing, patriarchal things, third marriages, spiritual philosophy, journeys of the mind, the deepest meaning of your life, your faith and religious beliefs, temples and oracles, and, churches and sanctuaries of religious, wisdom, dream temples, Sclepiums. It's a very magical place too. It's a very house of God, ninth house energy. But certainly for some of you, Aries, there's definitely some feeling that you may journey to a foreign land, because Jupiter is in one of the foreign lands houses. And then in comes the new moon, resetting the ninth house. Now, one more thing about that new moon, it's also accompanied by Venus and Mercury. It's conjunct them. They're further ahead in the game, but we'll get to that in a minute. But it's very blessed by a conjunction from a benefic, and Mercury just being the messenger of the gods in Sag. No, he's not in great shape there, but that doesn't really matter. He's very inspirational and motivational in Sag. You could have an opportunity for some kind of like wonderful journey. Especially with Mars in your third house. This can be, Mars is in the, moving through trains, planes, and automobiles, and then all of a sudden a love up in the night. So here's the thing. For some of you, there's a sense of the Jupiter direct November 23rd, and then the new moon around the same time. You're getting some kind of opportunity for travel, but it can also be breakthrough and wins and things to do with legal affairs, visas, court cases. I'll give myself as an example. I want to visit my sister in Ohio. Yes, I'm not vaccinated and I can't go into the United States. And I have, yes, had COVID and survived with being sick 3 days. So that means that I am stuck. But that would be a breakthrough moment, legal affairs, visas, ninth house, that maybe Biden administration, November 23rd, or let's be serious, maybe the red wave, the new Senate and Congress, it'll be mostly Republican, will try to overturn the border mandates, and I'll be able to travel and visit my sister. Just an example, because Mars is going through the house of siblings. So there's that, so I want to start with that travel up level energy, something positive here. That's kind of wanting to do that. Now, I talked about money shifts for you, and this is because you have eclipses in your second and eighth house since like November of last year, petering out to the fall of 23. And this is all about rearranging your finances, your money stories, everything from your earnings to your inheritances, to your investment strategies, to your taxes, to your debts, your credit cards, your mortgages. All of that's under like intense destiny factors of change. Basically, all eclipses are change makers. And this is an intense time because everyone cares about survival, food, shelter, water, money, resources, and you're under a lot of turbulence here. I mean, I'm an Aries sun and moon, I feel it. And I would say this, the October 25th eclipse in your eighth house of taxes, mortgages, investments, inheritances, money with your spouse, that eclipse was a big deal. There was a corrupted Venus data file there. Venus was conjunct the eclipse, and things looked a little gnarly as that eclipse was building towards the, October 25th and after maybe as well. I had some really big, intense energies with women and finances, 3 or 4 women having to work out some financial conundrums with them that I felt kind of hard done by, because I was kind of being accused of things that weren't true or whatever, stalked and stuff like that. Well, one woman in particular. So you kind of felt like you may have gotten backstabbed, or some betrayals or secrets were coming out, or things were kind of gnarly in the 2 weeks before November 8th eclipse in your full moon in your second house. Now, the full moon can be a good thing in a second house. It's like a harvest, a reaping, a completion. The apples are falling from the tree. And Uranus is there, sudden November 8th. And you're also looking at it being a takeoff of the April 30th new moon eclipse that happened in this Taurus second house. So I'm not going to make it all about a bad vibe, but it's going to shift money stuff. So I think it's going to up level your finances, my finances as well. But it may also feel destabilizing at the same time, because Uranus is there and it's like, Uranus brings rags to riches, North Node inflates, full moon amplifies. Full moon eclipses, I've noticed, are revelatory, and I'm going to do a deep dive video, probably releasing November 1st. So wait for that video, because it will be so much richer to understand this eclipse. And if you're new to my channel, this is your ideal time to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, because you won't want to miss that video, I'm sure. So we're going to bypass the in-depth discussion of that, but just know that that is a part of the narrative. All right. And now Mars is the Lord of your sign, and he is retrograding this month. It's an interesting month. There's like 2 new retrogrades, Jupiter and Mars. So Mars retrogrades in your third house starting on the 30th of October through to January 12th. And so all of November, he's backpedaling in the house of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, skills-based learning, online world, social media platforms, etc. And your neighborhood and your commutes and your car and your workaday, everyday things that you do kind of close to home, your neighborhood. With this retrograde here, there's a strong sense that you might go back and reconnect with a sibling or extended family member. You might go back over some old ground regarding vehicles, especially a car, because Mars here is often about automobiles. Maybe you'll sell a car. Yeah, let go of a car. Maybe you will go on a trip to a place you've been before. And maybe you'll have a sense of cleaning up something that you going back over something that do with your online, your website, your online teachings or education and stuff like that. Now, siblings are here and Mars is a god of fighting. And so you have to be careful during this transit that lasts until March 23rd next year, that you don't end up in battles, heated battles with extended family members or siblings. Okay. Just a possibility. It's not worth it, really. So this is just important because if Mars is the ruler, right, of your sky, he does a few really interesting things this month. So I'll try to highlight those for you. One of them is that he's going to finish strong at the end of the month and give you some serious love. Yeah, he's retrograde. Some of it won't really fully outpicture maybe till he goes direct in January, but he will in his retrograde motion trine Saturn. And Saturn is direct since October 23rd in your 11th house of good spirit. This is a fortunate house. Good things happen here. Great financial gain from one's career, new friendships and social alliances, people in authority wanting to dispense patriotic favors and blessings and allyship to you. And Saturn here is going to be finishing in this journey through this part of your sky where he's been since 2.5 years in March. And a lot of you left behind friendships and groups of belonging and as well as part of what happens when he's here. But at the end of the month, from about, it's really intense after the 26th, but it starts up around the 23rd. He's trying to create something tangible, lasting, and fortified regarding 3rd and 11th house matters, an air trine. So it could be an incredibly powerful idea that comes to you that you can communicate, message, or teach to the world that will bring even larger gains from your career and ambitions. Okay. Or it could be something to do with a sibling or a neighborhood event or a trip that also outpictures at the end of November with these blessings. The house of the eldest sibling is Saturn's up there. So maybe this is a trip with an eldest sibling, if this is something that makes sense to you. Yeah, so at the end of the month, the Lord of your chart is going to love you up tremendously. I'm going to go through anything else. Saturn direct. Yeah, I mentioned that. Jupiter retrograde. I'm looking at my big sky chart. November 5th to 7th, just before the eclipse, Venus will oppose Uranus. It's almost like shocking money or love news coming up just before November 8th. Like shock and awe. This is like, it couldn't be about a friend, a female friend, a big money upset for a female friend, or love upset for a female friend, a big shocking reveal about secret love affairs or things to do with secrets that were hidden from you, from your spouse, business partner, that kind of thing. On the other hand, let's be serious, right? Venus is still a benefic, even in Scorpio. Yeah, no, she's not happy there. And could be some good money news, really. And it might have to do with legacies, right? Because the 8th house is inheritance and she's a money goddess. And so it may be a shock and surprise that you're going to get money out of some estate, or that someone has passed and has bequeathed something to you, or something like that. You could get some gnarly news from a female about money that shocks or surprises you. It may not all be good, but that's happening just before the November eclipse. And then I'm just studying this for a minute, because Venus is a ruler of your money house and she's in that scorpionic place. So definitely going to shake some trees up in the money story for you. Rattle, rattle, shake, shake. All right. It could be news that comes from your spouse, though, because Venus is a ruler of your marriage house. So it may be some shocking news from your primary significant relationship partner or business partner. All right. And then there's a lot of love coming into the sky from Venus for you as she trines Neptune, then sextiles Pluto between November 8th and the 15th. Key dates might be more acute, the 10th and the 13th, but the gist is that time frame. So Venus is going to be moving into a flowing and harmonious and loving connection to Neptune. And Venus-Neptune things are very dreamy. They're very magical and enchanted. And it's kind of a weird place because 8 and 12, where this is happening, Neptune in your 12th, with Jupiter co-present and Venus in your 8th. This could be literally a spiritual awakening, a deep revelation of knowledge or wisdom, a deep understanding, a communication from a dead person who might be female, breaking through your dream life at night. It's kind of super enchanted. And there's going to be a grand trine in the sky at the same time, formed by Athena in your 4th house. So there is, again, the possibility of inheritance, legacy, wealth, and things like that coming into play here, because that Athena may be triggering that. And then later on, the sun will come into a trine with Neptune from your 8th house. Now, the sun can be a patriarchal male figure, father, grandfather, whatever, uncle, who could be looking at bequeathing you money, giving you money. You could have an inheritance here. The sun is the ruler of your 5th house. It could be something to do with money coming with and about your children. Or money from your child who gets money from somewhere. I don't know. So many ways this could work, Aries, but you're definitely having this energy of a potential money from an inheritance or something like that, or a bequeathment or a trust, or I don't know, living trusts, things like that. Mortgages could be blessed here as well. And that's the sun, but the sun is trining Neptune. That's what I got sidetracked. I forgot. On the 14th and 15th. And that's when Venus is trining Jupiter. So there's super luck coming in here at one midpoint in the month, 14th, 15th. Yay, this could be like a dreamy, fantastical, magical manifestation of money because of the love between Venus and Jupiter and the sun and Neptune. Okay. I don't even know where to go with it. I mean, the sun rules the house of lotteries. So maybe some of you could win a lottery. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, Mars squares Neptune. He's been doing that on and off forever, and he will continue till March. But this Mars square Neptune is November 16th to the 22nd. I'm using the analogy of Mars as a defogger on your windshield of your car that allows you to see more clearly, and therefore it's a good thing, but it's not always an easy thing for where your diluted, illusional rose-colored glasses are still on your face. Could do with a clearing of November 16th to the 22nd, clarity around aunt, uncle, cousins, siblings, trips and travel, online stuff, local neighborhood stuff, automobiles and commuting stuff. And there's this fog clearing energy going on, but it has a bit of luck because Jupiter's co-present with Neptune. So lucky fog clearings in that area of your sky. And, I don't know, Neptune, Jupiter in the 12th house, you could come up with a dream at night that is going to help you move forward in a more positive way with your website, your online world, things you're teaching, etc. And am I looking at you guys? And then at the kind of want to finish off strong here, but there's this lovely conjunction between Venus and Sag and Mercury and Sag kind of lingering between the 19th and the 23rd of the month. Now that is your foreign lands, travel, trips, visas, academia, book publishing house, and there's and third marriage house, and things are looking up in those areas for you. I mean, Venus and Sag is in good shape. We don't care. Mercury's a little under the weather, but a benefic is co-present with him, and it's fire trining your ascendant, and it's activating your 5th house of romance, children, fun, play, pleasure, leisure, travel. I think this is a trip for a lot of you, and it's going to bring some healing because Hygeia, the goddess of healing, is up here. This kind of trip doesn't have to be just, margaritas by the pool. This could be going off to Glastonbury or an ashram or a spiritual pilgrimage or India, these kinds of things, you Aries folk. Not every Aries will take a physical trip. You might go into a deeper spiritual philosophical awakening of some sort about the meaning of your life, about the meaning of life in general, so there's that part. And don't forget, if your rising sign is Aries, it's more true than just your sun or moon. Okay. And I already mentioned that finish strong Mars, your ruler, at the end of the month, trining Saturn, bringing you a lot of love regarding things to do with your own travel, siblings, and great gains from your career and favors from people in authoritative places. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Please hit my like button if you're listening to this, subscribe, get that bell for notifications, check out my description box for all my freebie giveaways, sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter because you get a 30% discount code for a reading with me. I'm usually automatically check your spam generated and sent to your inbox when you subscribe. You know, I am usually booked out these days, sometimes 6 weeks in advance. Lately, I think I opened some new spots, but at least 4 weeks in advance. But if you want to see me, please jump in and have a reading with me. I do enjoy my clients. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for listening. It's getting dark here in Canada. I'm losing the light in Healing with Nancy Lynn's healing room. There's like a dolly over here. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you the whole room. This is her healing table, and that's her healing proxy doll for when she does healings. All righty, at a distance that work really, really well because I've had them. All right, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for the eclipse video coming up in early November.